Hello Ray Class, it is Zambash here. We are going to do a quick little video here because the official announcement for the new Path of Exile expansion just came out. As you can see at the top here, it is called Path of Exile War for the Atlas. And we've got a little trailer here, so we'll start off with that. Typical GGG intro. Hopefully we're not getting like crazy feedback from the speakers. Boy, looks like we get a little more lore into the Shaper. Oh, and there I think I saw the threshold jewel for split arrow that they took out previously because they were working on balancing it. Got the usual montage of stuff, making the game look cool. Ooh. Looks like at some point the Shaper was kind of a good guy. 32 maps. There's that split arrow jewel again. They're showing that a ton. Or maybe that's one of the new support gems, actually, because there are 5 new support gems coming. Okay, it's definitely shooting different schools, so probably a new support gem. Oh nice, that looked like a map with Katava as the boss now. Oh boy, we got like evil dark looking Shaper thingy. 10 new gems. Nice. I'm all about the new skills. The Abyss League. Shaped and Elder items. Ooh. Wonder how that works. Ooh, giant scorpion boss. That guy looks super dope. I really like some of the new map tile sets they're showing off there. Look dope. Ooh. That was very fancy. Lots of cool looking stuff. Alright, so definitely go and check that out yourselves as well. Without me talking over it. Of course, there's supporter packs. We'll maybe look at the supporter packs at the end. Alright, War for the Atlas. An ancient entity known as the Elder has challenged the Shaper's control of the Atlas of Worlds. Explore maps ravaged by their conflict. So let's just picture the Atlas, and it looks like there's a little more offshoots and stuff. Atlas has been rearranged a little bit, it looks like. Alright, here we go. Here's a video on the new Atlas mechanics, and I'll be a little quieter during this one. We'll talk afterwards.
While playing in these, cover that are being called fixing the Atlas. Shaper will attempt to control maps controlled by the Shaper should. Each map you play advances the war. In fact, the Shaper. Should the Elder become powerful enough, he will be able to manifest in maps, life from the map. Level of the consumed boss. Defeat these 4 guardians to face the.
Alright, so the whole endgame system, it seems like, has basically been divided into 2, and you can determine which one you get to play out based on how you play through the Atlas. So previously we had the Shaper and his 4 guardians, and now we've got the Elder and his 4 guardians. Sounds like... I'm wondering if there's any way... I wonder how permanent that decision is. Like, if you play through your Atlas in such a way that you end up fighting the Shaper on a character, I wonder if there's any way you can backtrack on that same character so that you can then fight the Elder on that character, or if you're pretty much locked in on a single character based on how you go through the Atlas. Either way, that's pretty cool. Sounds like a lot of new endgame content and a way to sort of spice up the Atlas. The Elder Guardians. Ooh, look at the Elder. He's got like a little snake face. He looks like alien. As the Elder grows more powerful, he'll consume the Shaper's creations to manifest his own guardians. The stronger the consumed boss, the stronger the Elder is when you face him. Alright, so we got some very dope looking armor sets on these Elders. Elder Guardians. I will not be surprised if those are in the supporter packs. I hope they are. Though I don't know if I'll buy a supporter pack. We're kind of tight on money. 32 new maps. The Atlas has been redrawn. Find your way to the center through new paths and discover new challenges along the way. War for the Atlas adds 32 maps to Path of Exile's ever-evolving endgame. Like I said in that trailer, we've got some really cool looking tile sets here. That looks super dope. I wonder if that's the one Bex was teasing a while ago that you've got to kind of jump across, because it looks like those are disconnected platforms. There's some new support gem action of some sort. Very nice. That water looks pretty cool. There's a pretty cool Karaway tile set. There's that scorpion boss. Whoa, it's got a female on the tail. That's like the opposite of the scorpion boss in Dark Souls 2 who had the female body and the regular scorpion tail. Scorching ray action. Oh, and that's like the place where you fight the big bug during the normal playthrough for a skill point. Yeah, so lots of cool new tile sets in these maps. These new maps look really dope. It looks like a new skill there, that little volcano thing, because I don't recognize the icon on the bottom right, so that's probably one of the new skills. Here we go, this was interesting. I wonder what these are about. Shaped and Elder items. As you fight in maps the Shaper or Elder control, you may find rare Shaped and Elder items, which can be crafted to have powerful properties that don't normally occur. Alright, so it sounds like it's an enhancement to rare items, which is good, because honestly, unique items have been way outpacing what we've gotten for rare items recently, so it sounds like this is a way to go for more powerful rare items. You can see from the backgrounds here, these tentacle-y ones are the Elder, and the other ones are the Shaper. So let's see what we got. Havoc Dash Slink Boots. Evasion, life regen, increased stun and block recovery, and then we've got 9% chance to dodge spell damage and unaffected by shocked ground. I don't know how much the shocked ground matters, but that dodge spell damage is pretty sweet affix on a rare. Ballblade Oreo. Ooh, wow, you can get supported by gems on these items. And I like that it's on a one-handed here. You can see it's supported by level 20 chance to bleed, ruthless, and melee splash. That's super dope because it actually gives the option potentially for people who aren't using two-handers to have a second pseudo 6 link at least. So you might actually see more people using a different skill for single target versus clear. Kind of like what the Tempest, I think the Tempest Binding is what the Mask and Harbinger introduced, which is really nice. And it also has percent AoE on that sword. That's very interesting. Alright, so those are the two Elder ones. Now we're looking at some Shaper ones. Rage Veil Valregalia. We've got +1 to level of socketed active skill gems as an affix, and percent intelligence. Nice. Here we go. Oh, nice. We got some supported by gloves also. That's cool. I really like those supported by gems ones because, like I said, it gives you the opportunity to actually use a different skill for single target versus clear. This one is level 20 slower prod and level 18 faster casting. Got cast speed as an affix on the gloves also, and projectile damage. And there's like a lot of new mods on these. There's another supported by, so we got remote mine and hypothermia, and then adds flat lightning damage to spells on helmet. That's not normally there. Place an additional mine. Ooh, that is really strong, and it gives you that second pseudo 6 link again. Dang, these items are dope. They make rares way more interesting. 10 new gems. Oh wow, and they're actually all listed here. This expansion introduces 10 new gems, including 4 new skill gems and 6 new supports. The new skills have a focus on necromancy, while the support gems are designed to augment as many skills as possible in new and interesting ways. Alright, so first we got Unearth, which is a projectile spell. Fires a projectile that will pierce through enemies to impact the ground at target location, creating a Bone Archer corpse. Creating a Bone Archer corpse where it lands. So I imagine there's going to be something else here that'll interact with that. So at level 1 it does some fizz damage, the level 10 skill, yeah, and it ignores all targets, and it can create a maximum number of corpses. Alright. Body swap. This was teased a while ago by Bex. Your body explodes, dealing spell damage in an area around you, and a targeted corpse also explodes, dealing damage around it. Your body is recreated at the location of the corpse. The explosion of the corpse is not affected by modifiers to spell damage. This spell cannot be repeated. Also, it means like no spell echo. Okay. So it deals some base fire damage and some percent fire damage equal to... Okay, so it does base damage and percent fire damage. It's kind of like Detonate Dead, except it also moves you to where you're detonated and it does damage around you. Interesting. Volatile Dead. Corpses... Wait, what? This seems like just a straight up replacement to Detonate Dead. Corpses near the targeted location explode, dealing damage in a small area and creating an orb that moves towards nearby enemies before dealing spell damage in a larger area. The explosion of the corpse is not affected by modifiers to spell damage. So it destroys up to X number of corpses. That probably goes up as it levels, and it's got base fire damage and deals explosions equal to percent of max life. I mean, it sounds like a cool spell, but I don't like that it just seems to straight up invalidate Detonate Dead. Both of these seem just like better, different versions of Detonate Dead. Cremation. A targeted corpse explodes, dealing area damage and turning into a volcanic geyser, which will repeatedly... Alright, so that's that one we see over there on the right in the picture, which will repeatedly unleash projectiles sequentially over the surrounding area for a duration. The explosion of the corpse is not affected by modifier spell damage. Okay, so that's a recurring theme. Got base fire damage. Again, percentage damage of the corpse's maximum life. So these skills are all basically fire damage skills that do things when the corpse dies. I'm just gonna bring up Detonate Dead here. Does Detonate Dead have like a much higher percentage of base or of health damage or something? Okay, it does. So I guess these don't totally invalidate Detonate Dead because it actually does do 6% of the corpse's maximum life. They're still probably way better than Detonate Dead in general, just because Detonate Dead's AoE is Garbo. Oh, these two remain unannounced. That's lame. But at least Detonate Dead does do something better than them. It does more percentage corpse HP. Alright, so those are the active ones. And presumably the rest of these would be support ones, since it said 4 and 6, but these two remain unannounced for now, so we'll go through these support gems that we do know. Storm Barrier Support. Supports any channeling skill, protecting you from damage while you channel it. So 50% chance to gain and this is just at level 1, but it gives percent chance to gain a power charge when hit while channeling. Less lightning damage taken from hits while channeling, and less physical damage taken from hits while channeling. That's pretty interesting. It's finally not just a Path of More multiplier skill, it's actually a skill that gives you defensive bonuses while channeling. That could be very interesting if you want to make a tanky channeler character. Volley Support. Supports skills that fire projectiles from the user. Does not affect projectiles fired from other locations as secondary effects. So I believe that means like it wouldn't affect the secondary projectiles, a tornado shot or whatever. Supported skills fire 2 additional projectiles. That may go up with levels. Supported skills also fire projectiles from points to either side of you. So that's the one we saw a couple times in the trailer there. That's interesting, I guess. And it's only got a 25% penalty at level 1. Depending on if you're able to control the spread or anything, that seems like it might just be kind of a better version of GM. And it only requires level 4. How is... Multiple projectile support. Wiki's been super slow lately, but I just want to check what the damage penalty on GMP is, because I can't remember. Yeah, so, man. Of course it fires 4 additional, but this one says fires 2 additional, and it fires the ones from points to either side of you. It seems like it's just a way better version of GMP that's available at level 1. We'll have to see exactly how that one works out. Spell Cascade. Supports spell skills that apply an effect to an area around a targeted location. Supported skills have 25% less AoE, deal 50% less damage, but supported AoE skills also affect areas in front and behind of the targeted area. I wonder if those overlap at all. So basically it seems like it can turn any of your AoE ground target spells, apply an effect to an area around a targeted location. So basically it can turn some other spells into a similar effect as Glacial Cascade, it sounds like. A couple of these are a little confusing, and I think we'll take some testing before we can actually see how they work. Ancestral Call. Support single target melee attack skill. Alright, so this is a different version of Melee Splash, it sounds like. Causing them to attack multiple targets simultaneously. Cannot support minions. Supported skills deal less damage, but also attack X number of nearby targets. I imagine that number of nearby targets probably scales pretty heavily with the gem level, because it's only level 4 and it hits 2 nearby targets. Well, the gem is level 1, but only requires level 4. So to be better than Melee Splash, or even like equivalent to Melee Splash, that would have to scale up quite a lot. So again, that's another one that seems like it'll probably just take some testing. But would be cool if it makes... And it starts at only 25% less, so there's a chance that that may actually go up to having no damage penalty. So that could be pretty okay. And it depends what area it hits those in. It doesn't have an AoE list or anything here, like how nearby is nearby for hitting ones. Alright, new unique items. Path of Exile War for the Atlas contains over 50 new unique items, many of which have been designed by our community, and we've got a preview of 6 of them here. Arboric's Assassin Bow. That one has white sockets at least. So it's got flat fizz, so yeah, looking at it, it's pretty decent DPS bow. Gives you 99% evasion, that's interesting. It could be used with like a Queen of the Forest. Gives you 2 extra projectiles. Every 16 seconds, you gain iron reflexes for 8 seconds. Okay, so you probably don't want to use Queen of the Forest with this, because half the time you lose all your move speed. 30% more bow damage at close range while you have iron reflexes. 30% increased attack, cast, and move speed while you do not have iron reflexes. And you have far shot while you do not have iron reflexes. That is very interesting. So every 16 seconds for 8 seconds, so it sounds like every 8... In practice, it sounds like that means every 8 seconds you will switch back and forth between iron reflexes and no iron reflexes, and while you have iron reflexes, it makes you stronger at close range, and while you don't have iron reflexes, it makes you stronger at long range. Interesting. I'm not really sure how useful that is. Unless you want to be like really active and actually intentionally run up into melee range while the iron reflexes is on and then go back to long range while it's off. It seems kind of complicated, but cool. Oh, here we go. We've got a cold damage Skeen here. White Wind Imperial Skeen. Doesn't have any fizz damage bonuses, but you can see there it's got a lot of cold damage, a really lot of cold damage. And 14% attack speed, that's probably in some kind of range. Let's see what the actual DPS is on that. It's something like 250 average damage at 1.65 to 50 times. That is a 400 EDPS dagger. It's not super fast, so it won't get as much bonuses from other stuff you add, but let's go through the rest of the things here. 324 evasion rating, that's a lot of evasion rating actually. 20% chance to dodge attacks while your offhand is empty, and 100% increased cold damage while your offhand is empty. That is an interesting item. So it gives you a bunch of bonuses if you choose to just use it and use nothing in your offhand. But by the same token, like I said, it's a 400 plus DPS, cold DPS weapon just to begin with. So I feel like most of the time people will probably just use it with an offhand. Maybe as even like an intro weapon. But 100% cold damage is pretty strong, I guess. But I don't know, I feel like there's other stuff that you're going to get more damage and utility overall by dual wielding, but it's a cool item. I like that it gives choices. Both of these items give choices. I like that theme. Yoke of Suffering Onyx Amulet. Alright, so we got fire resistance, cold resistance, lightning resistance, and they're all plus. Alright, so it gives plus all resistances. Reduced duration of ailments on enemies. Percent chance to shock. Enemies take 5% increased damage for each type of ailment you have inflicted on them, and all of your elemental damage can shock. So it makes your ailments not last as long, but it's kind of like the taming, except it's actually a more multiplier rather than an increased, because its enemies take percent increased damage. So if you actually had chill, shock, and ignite on something, they would be taking 15% increased damage, which means you're dealing 15% more damage, and it makes it so all of your elemental damage can shock. That's an interesting one. I like all these so far. They're interesting. They're not just like, oh yeah, best in slot, I would want to use that for this build. They actually give some choice and are interesting. The Hungry Loop Unset Ring has one socket, consumes socketed support gems when they reach maximum level, can consume 3 additional support gems. Oh, interesting. I imagine the consume makes it so it like puts them on. So I wonder if it actually starts with that cast 1 damage taken, or if it actually starts with nothing and they've leveled a cast 1 damage taken. It probably starts with nothing and can consume 4. So basically it lets you have up to a 5 link in your ring, because you'd have it consume 4 support gems and then put an active gem in it, so you could have a 5 link in your ring. Interesting. I could see maybe summoners probably wanting to use that the most, because they're always starved for gem slots, so it might be nice to have a 5 link there in your ring. Other people, like attacking builds and spell-based builds, I'm not sure that you would want to have, like, give up one of your ring slots for an extra skill to give up the other affixes there. But again, very cool. I like all these items. They're themed very interestingly so far. They're not just boring stat monsters. Ralakesh's Impatience. We saw the concept art and model tease for this one a while ago. Alright. So they're just level 36. Oh yeah, by the way, what levels are these? 69. Only 20 on that Yoke of Suffering. That's really strong leveling depending on the kind of build you're using. And both of these are kind of higher level, 62, 66. Nothing real high level. These are only 36. Cold and Chaos Resist, move speed. Gain a Frenzy, Endurance, or Power Charge once per second while you are stationary. And lose all Frenzy, Endurance, and Power Charges when you move. Interesting. I mean, the obvious thing there is like Flicker or Lightning Warp. Probably Lightning Warp and Flicker. Because if you're just using Flicker, you generally have to use stuff while you move. I don't know, does Whirling Blades count as moving? I'm not sure, but if you find a way to be stationary all the time, that would probably make it so you had all charges at a time, which I guess could be interesting. I'm not super sold on that one. That one just seems kind of gimmicky to me, but it could be kind of cool. The Twilight Temple Moon Temple map. Alright, Moon Temple is a new map. We don't have that map yet, so a unique version of a new map. It has quantity, rarity, pack size in pretty large amounts. Area has increased monster variety, is inhabited by Lunaris fanatics and Solaris fanatics, and cursed with flammability and frostbite. Hopefully it's got a cool boss, because otherwise that's not a very interesting map. Alright, the Abyss Challenge League. It looks like we don't actually get to learn how it works yet, but Path of Exile War for the Atlas launches on December 8th, and PC shortly after on Xbox One. Alright, alongside the expansion, we're introducing the Abyss Challenge League. Fight foes that spill forth from the underworld beneath your feet as you journey across Rayclast. Claim valuable new Abyss Jewels. Alright, customize your characters and items in new ways. Abyss Jewels. Interesting. We'll post detailed information about how the Abyss Challenge League works next week. Alright, and we'll go and take a look at the supporter packs. Hopefully some of those armor sets that were on those Guardians are available. Alright, your base one, $30, Vagabond. You get the Vagabond weapon effect shown here. 250 points and form title, usual stuff. Seeker, kind of a basic looking set, but I actually quite like it. That jacket looks pretty nice. Seeker supporter form title, Seeker armor, Seeker cloak, Seeker weapon effect. What is this? Seeker cloak. Is that the Seeker cloak, maybe? Probably. Yeah, I think that's probably the Seeker cloak. Scholar. Get this armor set, and of course you get the previous stuff as well, just like always. $100 for that armor set. I don't really like the way that armor set looks, I'm not gonna lie. Another weapon effect. Redeemer. Alright, here we go. These are getting into the armor sets that those Guardians had. And up at this supporter set, you get a microcloth Atlas map, a t-shirt, and free international shipping on that, of course. That's 1,600 points. Subjugator. Yeah, now we're getting pretty dope armor sets. This armor set looks really Dark Souls-ish to me. And you get a portal effect here, very nice. Weapon effect. Dominator. I don't really like the way the chest piece on this one looks, and the shoulders are kind of derpy. I don't really like this one overall. 480. Ooh, they're going up pretty high on these ones. Yeah, so up to 480. And you get some notes and stuff. We're not going to bother going through those. I think the coolest armor set out of all these is probably the Subjugator. And I quite like the Redeemer as well. I don't really like the Dominator. Don't really like the Scholar. The Seeker's pretty cool, despite how simple it is. And of course, Vagabond, you're mostly just doing for the points and to support GGG. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this little walkthrough, and I hope you take the time to walk the trailers yourself. And if you can, pick up a supporter pack. GGG is doing awesome work, and we like to support them so they can continue doing so. And I hope to see y'all in the league. Bye.